A big jailbreak, an all-out manhunt. Newscasters following every twist and turn, screaming headlines in the newspaper.
Sounds like current events, doesn't it? Except it's not. Jim Duffy, the author of Secrets of the Eastern Shore, well, he doesn't do current events. Apparently this recent jailbreak manhunt story from Pennsylvania jogged his memory, reminded him of the jailbreak king of Delmarva.
Indeed.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
What's this all about?
Well, the first thing to say is that it wasn't as dangerous as this Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Because the jailbreak king of Delmarva, a guy from Federalsburg named Gilbert Lair, he was obsessed with office supplies. He stole a lot.
Office supplies?
He stole a lot of typewriters.
Okay.
So he's barely out of his teens. He's 20 years old. And the first thing he stole actually was a couple of slot machines. And one of the cops in Federalsburg, Constable Nichols, they never give his first name, he finds the slot machines at the side of a creek, and they go splashing down the creek in kind of this wild chase, and he tackles them and he arrests them. Do you remember the famous movie The Fugitive, where Tommy Lee Jones was the hunter and Harrison Ford was the hunter, and they never met, but they developed this special relationship, and that's what these two ended up being like. So anyway, he puts them in the Federalsburg jail. He escapes. He gets caught. Puts him in the Seaford jail. He escapes.
Oh my goodness, 2 escapes?
This time, yeah. Two escapes. And then they catch him again. They put him in the Salisbury jail, and he got an 1.5-inch saw in there with him, and he's sawing the blades, and they caught him at the last minute. So he had to do a little time in the state penitentiary for his burglary, but he is not done yet, because when he gets out, he steals typewriters from a school in Delmar, goes to the Delmar jail. He escapes. He steals typewriters from the school in Salisbury, Wycomico High School.
And
gets arrested. So now the jail in Salisbury is up on the 2nd floor. But he cuts the bars of the window, lowers down bed sheets, does the whole classic bed sheet escape. But the guy in Federalsburg, Constable Nichols, he goes, I know where he's going. And he's got his eye on this barber shop in Federalsburg where he knows he hangs out. And sure enough, Gilbert Lair shows up there, and Constable Nichols is closing in on him, but Gilbert Lair goes out the back door and he runs through the woods, and there's another wild chase, and this time Gilbert Lair gets away. And this is where it gets really fun. So he gets away, he leaves town for a while. Seems like he went to Florida. He sends a postcard to a random guy in Federalsburg saying, could you please tell Constable Nichols that he should have looked a little harder and run a little faster. 2 weeks later, he sends Constable Nichols a Christmas card. Says, Constable Nichols, I wish you the happiest of holidays. I'm going to see you real soon. And he does see him real soon. He comes back to Federalsburg, he steals a truck, he goes to office, steals everything, all the typewriters and whatever else they had in there, steals it all. The funny thing about this one, he'd stole all that stuff before, and the property got recovered, and they put it back in, and now he's stealing it again.
This guy must have been the talk of Delmarva.
He was. It was a complete media frenzy. So the jailbreak king of Delmarva was one. The Delmarva bandit was another name. And, one reporter, because his nickname was Dickie, Gilbert Dickie Lair, he nicknamed him the Slippery Dickie.
The things you find.
So he ends up, he does a couple of, he tries to escape, he can't escape from the Denton jail. That's where he ends up once. And he tries 3 different times to escape, and he gets caught every time. Ends up going to the state pen, comes back, and then he disappears from the newspapers. Now, I found a guy named Gilbert Lair living in Salisbury in the 60s and the 70s who he was a cabinet maker, and he seemed like a relatively upset, kids, grandkids, and all that.
Sort of.
I'm not sure at all that it's the same guy.
Yeah.
But he died in 1972. So when I think of this story, I like to imagine an old school diner in Salisbury or a bar, and 2 guys, Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford, are sitting there reminiscing about their glory days.
Oh
right?
My goodness.
The Delmarva Bandit.
What a great story. Jim Duffy, Secrets of the Eastern Shore. I like that.